Hello world, Krista here from Books and Jams with part 2 of my summer book haul. I have a number of books to show you, and so without further ado, I'm just going to dive right into it. The first set of books I actually bought for my brother earlier in the spring, and he had already read them, and I haven't read them, so I borrowed them back from him, and that is Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn Trilogy. It's Mistborn, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages, and this is a fantasy series that I have heard just nothing but praise for. Everybody who's read Brandon Sanderson loves him, so I don't know when I'll get to it, but I would like to read these. I was sent this book from the Fiction Guild by Zondervan, and it's The Loyal Heart by Shelley Shepherd Gray. This historical fiction is set during the Civil War, and it's about a friend who promises his comrade in the war that if anything is to happen to him, that he'll take care of his family, and it's a story that starts out from there. So Civil War historical fiction is right up my alley. Actually, most historical fiction is, but I'm looking forward to reading this. I opened my July, I believe, my July Book of the Month box already. I do have my August box here that's not open yet, but Missing Presumed by Susie Steiner is the book that I chose for July, and this is a mystery. I guess with Book of the Month, I've been on a kick of ordering the mystery thriller selection that they have. There's 5 choices each month, and I like that about this subscription box, so that you get to choose which one you want. And I don't really know anything about it. I did read a synopsis enough to choose this book, but I like going into mysteries and thrillers not really knowing too much, so I haven't really looked it up on Goodreads, or since I've got it, I haven't reread The Dust Jacket to see what it's about. I don't want to tell you, but it's another mystery thriller from Book of the Month Club. I was sent another package in July from Amazon of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, and all it said is from Liz. So I'm not sure who Liz is. I know one Liz from my church, but she's a high schooler, and so I can't imagine that she sent this to me, but maybe she did. I'm not sure, but thank you, Liz, whoever you are. This is very popular, and it's going to be a movie soon, so you can watch the trailer. One of my favorite parts about this book is all of the photographs that are in it. And I guess they're real photographs, but they're just kind of odd and eerie. So I'm looking forward to that aspect of reading this book. I did place a book outlet order earlier in the summer, and so these are a few of the books. I believe only these 4 were in that order. And the first is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This is a big floppy version. This is a humongo book. Classic, so I know it might be a little bit a slower read for me, but it's one that I would like to read at some point in my life. I thought this was a very pretty edition of Anna Karenina, so I wanted this one, and I like the paperback, so yay for me. I don't know why I keep purchasing YA books, because I am not always a big fan of the contemporary YA books, but I picked up The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. This is probably one that I'll read and then pass along, not keep forever. Another book that I got from that book outlet order is Red Rising from Pierce Brown, and I've heard a lot about this from BookTube as well. It's kind of dystopian fantasy, couldn't pass it up. I purchased another classic on book outlet this time, and it's Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. It's a romantic suspense, and I, again, don't know very much about it, but it's another classic that's kind of been on my list to pick up along with Anna Karenina. So now I own it and can get to it whenever I can. I have a bookstore near me that when you purchase 4 books, you get a 5th one for free, and so I already gave away the 5th, but I did purchase 4 books from that bookstore, and they are 2 historical fiction. This one is called The Paris Architect by Charles Belfour, and this is a World War II historical fiction about an architect in France. He builds a house that has a place for Jews to hide, and then he ends up needing to hide there himself, I believe. Is kind of the basic gist of the story. Caught my attention because I love World War II historical fiction. Let me know if you've read this or heard of it. I would be really interested to know if it's any good. The other historical fiction that I picked up is called The Passing Bells, And this is, the little blurb on the front says, before there was Downton Abbey, there was Abingdon Priory. So this is set in England, and it kind of has a Downton Abbey feel to it. And Downton Abbey is one of my favorite shows. I absolutely love it. So I was very intrigued by that. And this is a World War I historical fiction, so it happens a little bit sooner than the other, but I'm looking forward to picking that up. The third book that I bought from that thrift store is called The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. I believe this is about an autistic boy who gets distraught because a neighborhood dog goes missing, and so he that throws off his routine and his schedule, and he has to figure out what happened. But it sounded very interesting, the autistic side of things, and how this book portrays his perspective. So I heard a few good things about this one as well, so it interested me and I want to own it on my shelves. The fourth book is Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walter, and I've heard about this from a couple different booktubers, as most of the books that I pick up. It has a beautiful cover. It's set in Italy, and it just intrigued me. It's a travel type book. I like to learn about other countries and hopefully go there someday in my life. But it happens along the coast in Italy in 1962. Mysterious woman, an innkeeper. It just sounds like a great summer read. So summer is nearing an end, so I might not get to it this summer, but I'll have it for when I feel like it. My goodness, 3 more. I picked this book up at Barnes & Noble on their clearance shelf. I gotta love that bargain shelf at Barnes & Noble. It's called The King's Damsel by Kate Emerson, and this is a Tudor, the Tudor court set in England during the Tudor time period, Henry VIII, all of that. It's about a woman who's a handmaid and also a spy. So it just intrigued me. I am not going to say much more about it than that. But then I have an unboxing quickly to do for you, and this is from the Book of the Month Club. While I open it, I'll just tell you, the Book of the Month is a monthly subscription box. I have opened it 1 or 2 other times on this channel, so I'm not going to say too much about it, but you can look them up. I'll put the link down below. I love this subscription box, and I actually subscribed for a year because it's cheaper the more you do it, so I used some tax return money for a little treat for myself this year. Ugh. There we go. All right, so inside there is a little, I don't know what this is. It says Book of the Month. I'll open it up for you. I don't really know what that is. A bottle? Cozy for a soda bottle? A pen case? I honestly don't know what that is. Yay. Yay for me. Oh, I'm excited for this book. I'm gonna need scissors. No, I'm not. Another mystery thriller I got this month, The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. And this is about a woman on a cruise or a boat, a cruise ship, I believe. And she, during a storm possibly, sees a woman go over the rail, whether she jumps or just goes over the rail. I'm not sure how. But then finds out later that there was, and she thought it was the woman who was in cabin 10, but finds out later that there was no woman in cabin 10. So the mystery is, who did she see go over the rail? Did she really see someone go over the rail? We don't know. That is what you have to find out by reading the book. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, Book of the Month always comes with a really nice thick cardstock bookmark as well, with a quote on the back, and this quote says, "Let's be reasonable and add an 8th day to the week that is devoted exclusively to reading. Lena Dunham." I agree. Let's do that. An 8th day would be great. I have so many books to read, clearly. And finally, I have one more package to open quickly, and this is from the Fiction Guild as well, that I belong to with Zondervan. And this book is called Mrs. Lee and Mrs. Gray, a novel, and it's by Dorothy Love. And this is, I'll just read a little bit of this, a letter that I got from them to you. It says, "In a story spanning from crude slave quarters to sunny schoolrooms and stately wedding parlors, award-winning novelist Dorothy Love amplifies the astonishing true-life account of an extraordinary alliance and casts a fresh light on the tumultuous years leading up to and through the wrenching battle for a nation's soul. A riveting and poignant American tale, Mrs. Lee and Mrs. Gray is the first novel to chronicle this beautiful 50-year friendship between Mrs. Robert E. Lee and Mrs. Selina Gray, forged at the crossroads of America's harrowing journey from enslavement to emancipation. So another Civil War era historical fiction, but recording or talking about a real relationship between these two women. So that sounds really interesting to me, and I'm looking forward to reading it, and I'll let you know what I think.
Alright, let's see if I can pick all of these up. My goodness. I don't think it's that good. This one is good. Let's see. And these. Can we get them all in the shot for that portion? I need to figure out how to do this while I stand. I can turn this sideways.
There we go. There's all the books that I'm hauling today. I'm gonna set them back down. Thank you so much for watching, and I would love to hear from you if you've read any of these books, or yeah, just what you're reading these days, and go ahead and comment down below. I look forward to talking to you soon, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye!